Life is so often complicated and challenged to such a degree that we often fail to realize that the most important changes that we need make can often be facilitated by simply a nod. When Avram is finally 86 years old, he's blessed with a son. That son is given to him by Hagar, Yishmael. Needless to say, the chinuch provided to that son is provided primarily by the mother, and he's not quite turning out to be the son that Avraham always dreamt of. And therefore, at the age of 99, HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells him, Avraham, you're going to have a son with Sarah specifically, and through that son, Yitzchak, you will achieve your continuity. Avram's reaction, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'll be 100. What a crazy miracle that will have to be. I have a son Yishmael. I know that he's not turning out to be the child that I so desired, nor that which you desired for me, but if he could only turn out right, we can only turn him around and put him on the correct derech, the correct path towards the Shmiras HaMitzvos. Well, at the age of 100, Avram Avinu has the son Yitzchak. And in fact, 2 years later, according to Rashi, he makes a grand mishnah, a wonderful meal to which all the Gedolei Hadar are invited. And what is Yishmael, who is now at the age of 14, doing? Why, he's misachek. What is misachek? Which typically means levity, fun. Rashi tells us it refers to the Gimel HaChamuros, to the three cardinal offenses within Judaism. Gili Arayos, Shvichas Damim, and Avodah Zarah. Lewd and lascivious behavior. Shvichas Damim, homicide, he's shooting arrows at Yitzchak. It's a playful game. And Avodah Zarah, and worshipping idols. And of course, Sarah turns to Avram Avinu and says, banish Hagar and banish that son. Avram is terribly chagrined over this directive. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to him, Kol asher tomar elecha Sarah shema b'kolah. It's such a hard thing to do, but do it. It's best for Yitzchak. Yishmael is sent away with his mother Hagar with some bread and a chemes mayim and a jug of water. And ultimately he becomes a rova kashas. He becomes a hunter of animals, of people. And he becomes a para adam. He's not so much human as he is an animal human being. And yet, fast forward to this week's Parshas Chayei Sara, when Avram Avinu passes away at the ripe old age of 175, we are told that he has passed away specifically b'seva tova zaken v'saveya. He's happy, he's fulfilled. He's been granted by HaKadosh Baruch Hu anything and everything that he could possibly want. A wife of a Sarah Imenu, a son Yitzchak, the greatest of wealth, ripe old age, and say Chazal, Terach, his father, who had been an idol worshiper and an idol seller, why, he's done tshuva. And what about Yishmael? Vayikberu also Yitzchak v'Yishmael banav el ma'aras hamachpelah. That Yitzchak and Yishmael, his sons, buried him in the ma'aras Machpelah where he had buried his beloved Sarah. And says Rashi, Yitzchak v'Yishmael, Yitzchak is the younger of the two. Mikan, from here we can deduce, she'asa Yishmael teshuvah, that Yishmael had done teshuvah. And therefore, because he had done teshuvah, v'holech es Yitzchak lefanav, he turned to Yitzchak and he said, you shovel first. But perhaps Rashi could be learned otherwise. Rashi doesn't say, Mikan she'asa Yishmael teshuvah. From here we can deduce that Yishmael had done teshuvah. She'holech. For after all, we know that we see that he had told Yitzchak to shovel first, but rather, Mikan she'asa Yishmael teshuvah. From here we can deduce that Yishmael did teshuvah. How? By what? V'holech es Yitzchak lefanav. At the moment where he turned to Yitzchak, and sitting there during the Espedim said to himself, oh my gosh, how I have spent my lifetime of 76 years. I was so far from the son that Abraham Avinu wanted and should have had. Yitzchak is the son who embodies all that Abraham Avinu is about. And so he turns to Yitzchak and he says, he gives him the nod. V'holech es Yitzchak lefanav, he gives him the nod. Because in that moment, he says to himself, I'm 76 years old, but I'm going to do tshuva now. And it begins with a nod to Yitzchak to pick up the first shovel. You know, when it comes to Shuvah, all of us have a tendency to view it as being something insurmountable, an accomplishment. We look at it as an all or nothing deal. We either have to get rid of anything and everything that we are doing poorly, let alone sinfully, and we have to embrace all that we are supposed to be doing. And it's really not necessarily so. It's a moment of clarity and a decision to embrace that clarity and difference in journey. That's all that it is. Because at times in life, all it takes is a simple nod. Have a good show.